Before Oshun became a goddess, before her name was carved into temples or whispered in sacred groves, she was just a woman. And I don't mean a spirit in human form. No, I mean she lived, she cooked, she loved, and honestly speaking, she suffered just like you and me. In a time when the gods still walked the dusty streets of our world, Oshun was known for something strange. It wasn't power and it wasn't magic. It was just that everything worked better when she was there. The food tasted richer, the children got over their fevers faster, and even the angriest men seemed to find a bit of peace when she walked into the room. People noticed this, but they couldn't quite put their finger on why. You see, Oshun wasn't born loud like Shango, the god of thunder. She wasn't wide like Oya, the storm. Her power was quieter. She understood the things that actually move the world. How emotions pull people. How patience can eventually bend even the strongest iron. And how a little bit of care can control a whole lot of power. Where others fought with their fists, Oshun persuaded with a smile. Where others demanded, she simply offered. She wasn't weak. She was just the only one who truly understood human nature. The way she met Shango is the way many men meet the biggest turning points in their lives, completely by accident. Shango was at the height of his power at that time, a king among gods. But he was passing by her house one afternoon when he caught a scent. He perceived the aroma of sweet, rich food drifting out from her doorway. It smelled so inviting that it actually made him to stop in his tracks. Oshun didn't bow down in fear. She welcomed him in. She cooked for him without any pride or ego, and she spoke to him as an equal. Shango felt it immediately, and as he ate her food, that famous explosive anger of his just melted away. She knew right then that he couldn't just let her go. He brought her into her palace, and that is where the peace began to shatter. You see, Oshun never actually tried to compete with Shango's first wife, Oba, but competition has a way of finding you even when you are the favorite. Shango began to crave Oshun's maize and her calm company more than anything else. Now, in a traditional home, food isn't just a meal. It is influence and it is closeness. Oba saw her husband slipping away and she was desperate. She did something we've all done when we are scared. She asked her rival for her secret, the reason why Shango prefers her meal. Now, Oshun didn't actually mean to destroy the woman, but in a moment of pride or maybe mischief, she lied to Oba. She leaned in and told Oba, "The secret is simple. I cut a piece of my own hair into his food every night." Oba was so blinded by her need to be loved that she believed it. She wanted her husband back so badly that she took a blade and cut her own hair and stirred it into the soup. When Shango sat down to eat and saw a woman's hair floating in his bowl, he didn't even bother to ask for an explanation. He went into a divine rage and chased Oba out of the palace forever. That lie changed everything, because Oba fled, crying until her grief literally turned her into the river Oba. But Shango eventually found out the truth, and his fool returned on Oshun. He didn't just exile her, he haunted her. Osun ran until her legs gave out. Then she tripped and fell, and as she hit the earth, she didn't die, she just disappeared. Where her body touched the soil, a spring of water bubbled up, and she became the Osun River. Osun didn't choose to be a goddess of the water. She became the water itself because at that moment she had nowhere else to go. Even after she was chased away, Osun didn't become bitter. She became a healer. Women who can't conceive come to her banks. Families who can't find peace sit by her waters. You see, Shango's thunder eventually fades and Oya's storms eventually pass, but you see, water always remains. Osun reminds us that you don't always have to conquer to rule. Sometimes the person who lives quietly is the one who lasts the longest. That is the story of Osun, the woman who became the water we all need to survive.